Congressional correspondent Chad Pergram is live on Capitol Hill with the latest. Chad.
Well, good afternoon. They start again today at 1 o'clock with the second tranche, this 8-hour batch of question and answer session, written questions again. They went to about 11 o'clock last night. We have gone through 93 questions so far. There were only 106 questions posed in President Clinton's trial in 1999, so they're going to, bypass that by a large number later today. But the big question is, when does this wrap up? And tomorrow night, there's going to be a seminal vote, what we're calling here a gateway vote. Do they vote to have witnesses or not? Now, to be clear, this is not an individual vote on calling witnesses by name. It's just the idea. That's going to be key. And this is something that came up on the Senate floor during the Q&A last night. Here's the President's defense counsel, Jay Sekulow.
By the way, if we get anybody we want, we'll be here for a very long time. To say that this is not going to extend this proceeding, months. Because understand something else. Despite the, executive privilege and other nonsense, I suspect Manager Schiff, smart guy, he's going to say, wait a minute, I got some speech and debate privileges that may be applicable to this.
Lead impeachment manager Adam Schiff says the President's defense counsel is trying to scare senators, saying that calling witnesses will consume the Senate, paralyzing it. Schiff believes this is a hollow threat.
It's not going to take months of litigation, although that's what the President's counsel is threatening. They're doing the same thing to the Senate they did to the House, which is you try to investigate the President, you try to try the President, we will tie you and your entire chamber up in knots for weeks and months.
Now, there are three scenarios that are in play. Let's say they get to that gateway vote tomorrow night and they reject it. They reject the concept of calling witnesses. What that means is you could have final arguments, perhaps even speeches by senators, and then go to a final judgment. Votes up or down on the impeachment articles, guilty or innocent, late tomorrow night or in the wee hours of Saturday morning. Scenario B is maybe senators actually vote to go down that roadway of conceptually having witnesses or calling documents. Then you could have maybe some horse trading between the two Senate leaders, Mitch McConnell and Chuck Schumer, trying to put out this fire, maybe saying, OK, let's put forth slates of witnesses that we know are unpalatable to the other side. There's pressure on both McConnell and Schumer to wrap this up quick. McConnell, obviously the president, and loyal Republicans to the president, they want this over very fast. For Chuck Schumer, he has Democratic senators running for president who want to go back and campaign in Iowa. And by the way, if you really talk to Democratic senators in private, obviously they want witnesses, but they will tell you that they think it is to their political advantage not to have witnesses so they can boomerang this around on Republican senators in the fall. And then there's scenario C. This is kind of the, Katie bar the door scenario here, where you could have a situation they vote for witnesses at that gateway vote, and then they vote individually by name to call certain witnesses. Now, what would happen is you would probably have the trial go dark for probably a week or two, as according to the framework for the trial, they would depose these witnesses in private. It would obviously take time to get them in. The Senate would be doing other business. That would be going on off stage, and then the Senate would probably come back into session with the trial and determine if they needed to have those witnesses testify on the Senate floor in open session. Those are the three scenarios. However, we don't think that choose your own adventure scenario will come to pass. The reason is that Mitch McConnell, as the majority leader, he has the right of recognition on the floor. He gets recognized first, so he can control this a little bit and try to maybe create a creative scenario where he puts this to bed sometime late on Friday or early in the day on Saturday. Brett and Martha?
We may need a whiteboard, Chad, for all of those scenarios. But you and I have talked to people up there on the Hill in the McConnell sphere, and there is a growing confidence that he has the votes to prevent witnesses and thereby has the votes to acquit. But it's still not locked down. Everybody also is still buzzing about this tie vote in any of these scenarios you talked about. A tie. That's still in play?
Yeah, exactly. I talked to one very good vote counter up here. They thought that gateway vote would fail, and they said it might fail even on a tie. Now, by rule, a tie vote fails in the Senate. What usually happens in the Senate if there is a tie vote and the vice president presides? If the issue goes the way the administration wants it to go, then the vice president doesn't vote. The vice president only breaks a tie if they want the vote to go a certain way, and then the vote's 51 to 50. But during a Senate trial, you have the Chief Justice presiding. In the Senate trial of President Andrew Johnson in 1868, there were three ties, and the Chief Justice, Salmon P. Chase, asserted himself, broke 2 of the 3 ties. But I keep being told repeatedly that we don't think that Chief Justice Roberts will break a tie here. And so if you have a 50-50 vote, guess what? That resolution is defeated, and that could cut this off at the pass tomorrow night. Brett, Martha?
Tie goes to the running. Chad, thanks.